India's free trade agreement with the European Union is not just a trade document, it is a strategic reset in how India positions itself in the global economy. For India, the immediate expectation is a sharp rise in exports, especially in labor-intensive sectors. With tariffs of 12 to 16% being removed on textiles and duties coming down on pharmaceuticals, electronics, auto components, leather, and gems and jewellery, Indian goods become far more competitive in the European market. This directly benefits MSMEs, manufacturing clusters, and workers across states like Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, and Punjab, translating into more orders, higher production, and job creation. At the same time, Indian service companies, particularly in IT, fintech, consulting, engineering, and digital services, gain easier access to Europe through liberalized rules on telecom, finance, e-commerce, and digital trade, allowing Indian professionals and firms to scale up operations across EU countries with fewer regulatory roadblocks. The agreement is also expected to unlock fresh European investment into India. As European companies actively look to diversify supply chains away from China, India emerges as a natural alternative for manufacturing, clean energy, electronics, pharmaceuticals, and high-end engineering. This means more technology transfer, better integration into global value chains, and a stronger push for India's manufacturing ambitions. Equally important is what the deal protects. Sensitive agricultural sectors like dairy, rice, spices, and poultry are excluded, ensuring Indian farmers and rural livelihoods are not exposed to sudden external competition while preserving domestic regulatory standards. This balance between openness and protection makes the agreement politically and economically sustainable. Beyond economics, the impact on India's relations with other major powers is significant. In the case of Russia, the India-EU FTA does not signal a break or distancing. India will continue to rely on Russia for affordable energy, fertilizers, and key defense supplies because those ties are driven by long-term strategic needs rather than trade sentiment. However, the agreement clearly broadens India's options. By deepening economic and technology ties with Europe, India reduces over-dependence on any single partner, including Russia. This gives India greater strategic autonomy and bargaining power, allowing it to engage Russia from a position of strength rather than necessity. Russia remains a strategic and geopolitical partner, but Europe increasingly becomes a central economic and technological partner. The indirect impact on China is even more pronounced. As European firms reassess risks and seek to reduce dependence on Chinese manufacturing, India gains a strong opportunity to position itself as a reliable alternative. With tariff advantages in the EU market, Indian products will compete more effectively with Chinese goods, particularly in textiles, electronics, auto components, and pharmaceuticals. This does not mean a direct trade confrontation, but it does shift the balance in global supply chains, gradually reducing China's dominance while strengthening India's role. For the United States, the agreement is largely complementary. It aligns with Washington's broader push for trusted, resilient supply chains outside China and reinforces India's role as a key economic and strategic partner in the Indo-Pacific. At the same time, it gives India leverage in future trade negotiations with the US and acts as a hedge against uncertainty arising from American protectionism and shifting tariff policies. India is no longer dependent on any single Western market and can negotiate on more equal terms. Taken together, the India-EU Free Trade Agreement marks a deeper shift in India's global approach. India is not choosing sides or abandoning old partners. Instead, it is expanding its economic and strategic space, strengthening ties with Europe, maintaining core relationships with Russia, competing more confidently with China, and engaging the US from a position of balance. In an era of trade wars, sanctions, and fragmented globalization, this agreement makes India more resilient, more attractive, and more influential. It is not just about trade numbers or tariff lines. It is about India securing its place as a central, dependable pillar of the global economic order for the decade ahead.